Hey guys, welcome back to the table with Finding Atoria. We are so excited to be here today. We're a TTRPG podcast of three friends who are lifelong gamers and just like to talk about all things TTRPG. Today we are really incredibly excited. We have three people, but it is not our normal three people. It is myself, Arcadia, my co-host Tori, and we are so excited to get to talk today with Christina Stiso from, did I pronounce that correctly actually? I should
You
check.
did.
Yay!
You did.
That is a score.
Right, from Epic Adventures Podcast, which we are huge fans of here, and from Oddfish Games. So, Christina, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is exciting for me.
Yeah, I love this. We are so excited to have you here because, what you guys are doing over there just really matches up with what we enjoy doing here. So you are a PhD student, I believe soon to be Dr. Stiso. Is that correct?
Yes.
Very, very exciting.
Yeah, it's less than a week now. So.
Oh my goodness. That's the crunch time. And a game designer on top of that.
Yes.
And so many other, I feel like I was looking through all of your biographies and it's like, when does this woman have time to game?
Yeah, there's not a lot of time.
Right?
We find it.
Exactly. You always have to make room.
Oh yeah.
Tori's been dying to ask you this, so I'm gonna
Sure.
I'm gonna let her start things off with.
It's the question that everybody gets.
Sure.
How did you start gaming?
Yeah. So gaming in general, I started really early. My family played a lot of board games.
Nice.
We played Monopoly, we played Cranium, we played all these little family board games. And that's how I started board gaming.
Yeah.
So it's sort of grown from there.
Uh-huh.
I started tabletop role playing in college, and it's just sort of snowballed from there.
What game did you start with when you started doing TTRPGs?
Yeah, so if I'm recalling correctly, aside from one game of D&D 3.5,
right,
that we
which
played
was
one scene of, where I was a dwarf and someone else just decided to kill my character first scene for no reason.
Oh God.
But so aside from that, it was actually what was it? The White Wolf, Vampire the
Vampire.
Masquerade.
Yeah, we love Vampire.
Uh-huh.
Very cool. Do you still play Vampire?
I've played a little bit.
Yeah.
I usually play other system like Werewolf. My favorite is Genius, the Transgression.
Oh, nice.
Which is sort of like this little fan mod about mad scientists in the White Wolf world.
Oh.
But
I wish you saw Tori's face. It was just like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing.
It's amazing. You should look it up. It's totally free.
Oh no.
We have another new game to play at the table.
Oh no.
I love that. So you are very involved in, helping groups bring inclusivity to the community.
Yeah.
And, one of the things that we really love to talk about on our show and in our world is that we want to bring people to the table, and that means more people is better, and also recognizing that not every table is for every person, but we want to help people find the table that is right for them. And so I really love, some of the work that Tabletop Gamers is involved with in that way. And I know you are involved with that organization, not speaking on behalf of, but I was hoping maybe if you wouldn't mind sharing with our audience a little bit about what Tabletop Gamers is about.
Yeah. So Tabletop Gamers is we're a nationwide nonprofit organization, and our basic mission is to promote visibility and inclusion of queer folks in tabletop gaming spaces. So that's our core mission. We do a bunch of stuff to sort of achieve that goal. the main place most people see us is at conventions.
Okay.
You know, we go to a lot of gaming conventions. We hand out these ribbons that say gamer with a Y and
Yes.
ally.
I actually have one of those from 2022.
Gen Con?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She, her stuck
Yes.
on my gaming binder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's how we got started. We still go to conventions. We still hand those out just to like let everyone know that, you know, first of all, queer folks are here, and for those that maybe let them know that they're welcome.
Right,
So, yeah.
right. Yeah, that definitely speaks to our hearts here. And we talk about in so many different ways about so many different communities being excluded, you know, being gate kept or, you know, whatever from the community. And it does feel like things are improving. You know, we've got this, everybody talks about, we've got this golden age of gaming, and so many more people are involved and finding their place. And do you feel like that's true for the queer community as well? That like, actually, Tori and I were talking about this earlier, you know, that we feel like, you know, you're seeing a lot more queer presence and we're really excited for that.
And being a girl gamer isn't a like, oh my God, all the guys look, it's a girl.
I know.
At the cons anymore.
Yeah, like I was definitely raised in that culture.
Yeah.
In, like the 90s where that was a thing.
Yes.
And like, yeah, that's definitely, I haven't encountered that in the past like 10, 15 years. Like it's, yeah, I feel like you're absolutely, like, I agree with this. Like, inclusivity has been going up. Like, every year, Tabletop Gamers hands out more ribbons.
Right.
You know, we get more people, and I see more people just in my day-to-day life, just being a part of the hobby and also being openly queer or openly whoever they are. And yeah, I think it's great. It's excellent.
I really love that you're starting to see more open storylines as well. And I know you guys don't jump into D&D as much, but one of my favorite things was I was bringing a brand new player on. And so I just very quickly threw together an entry-level D&D module. And most people that have ever done their you know, quick start stuff, they'll recognize this campaign. But in it, you have two, you know, a partner that are kings, you know, and it's just a part of the storyline that you have to help them and whatever. And I absolutely loved the way that it was just no different than any other part of the storyline. It's just like, well, yeah, and his husband is right there. And when I read that, I was just so excited. I was just so excited that like, okay, like we're getting it, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's just is the world. This is the world we live in. And it just is that way. And I love that just very simple, natural inclusivity that is starting to be seen.
We've also moved away from the chainmail bikini. Just saying.
Well, some of us might enjoy a chainmail bikini. I don't know.
I mean,
question for you, like if you guys do this with Tabletop Gamers at all, like how do you do any advocating? Does that organization do any advocating as far as like helping people who maybe they're not as familiar with the community, but they want to be inclusive and welcoming, and they just don't really know the right way to go about it? Do you guys help people sort of like, what would be tips and tricks for people in that position?
Yeah. So like, we don't have any like official advocacy or coaching, but we do have our safe space program, which, so if you go to, I think it's gamingsafespace.org, something like that. The program's intended for retailers.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, this is like how retailers promote their spaces as safe and inclusive. But there's a bunch of, there are some tips on there for like, this is how you be a good ally. This is how you make spaces inclusive. And most of those can be applied to general stuff.
Right.
But, yeah. So like there's that. Generally speaking, my people will come up and ask us at conventions, like, how do I make my space more? How do I promote my space and all this sort of stuff? And like, generally the stuff is pretty common sense.
Yeah.
Like most people want the same thing. They just want to feel like they're respected.
Right.
Pretty simple, right?
You sort of want to be like, it's not rocket science, everybody.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
So,
But, like you were talking about, just having queer people in your campaigns and not making a big deal out of it.
mm-hmm.
That's really the best way. And having them in your group. And that's how it works.
Yep, exactly. I love that. I would love to sort of jump over to the fact that, this is a bit involved with your PhD work, as well as the fact that you are a game designer.
I was going to say, it's coming.
It is coming. So I love game-based learning.
Yes.
I love the idea of, and I've talked about this on the show a couple of times, about how gaming, any type of gaming in a lot of ways, can be used to help educate and learn. And tabletop role-playing games have their own sort of little niche area within that concept. And we all love to sort of promote, you got to get, role-playing games are the best. They're so good for you for all these, they're coming out with all this research and science. It says how good they are and everything like that. And so I love that area where there's an intersection between education and gaming and role-playing and all of that. And so I guess I would love to hear, I got a couple of questions to throw at you. I'm like, which way do I throw it? Does your game design, is it impacted by your research in regards to game-based play and learning, or where do they intersect? I'm intrigued to hear.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. Steve and I have talked about this a lot, but like running a game as a game master is very similar to being a teacher.
Yes.
So there's a lot of overlap in those things, but beyond that, just like the ability to design. So a lot of what teachers do is design.
Right.
They design learning environments, and that's very similar to designing a game.
Mm-hmm.
You have outcomes you want to get. You have like methods to get people to act in a certain way. So there's a ton of overlap, both like in practice, and I tend to bring in a lot of theory that, often goes a little bit over, like, I'll talk up the big theory and Mike will say, well, what does that mean in like real person terms? And he'll have to like explain it. But
yeah,
Mike is incredibly smart, not trying to denigrate him, but just, the jargon comes out.
Right.
Yeah.
Is your, I think if I remember looking through some of your work, you focus on more adult learning. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or like college level student type learning?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's sort of where my experience lies.
What is the story?
Crossing into the other version of why games help.
Oh, yeah. I mean, games are,
So keep going. I'll cut in just a second.
So you focus a lot on like college students and how games can be used there. And do you find that when you do that, because you talk about teachers doing, creating an environment, it's really just like creating a game in its own way. Do you ever bring your own games into this?
I have a few times. I designed a little board game called The Chicken of Tomorrow. That has not been published yet, but I brought that into my classes a few times. It talks about like the super interesting topic about how like chickens, the chicken industry was used to like combat communism in South America.
I love this.
Super interesting history of science, but I brought that in a few times. I use Radiance in my classes, like basically every semester.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah. Radiance. We've talked about this on the show before for our listeners. Yeah. Oddfish Games has a product called Radiance that, I can see how that would be a perfect setup for class. Assisting, I don't know, creativity, assisting learning, assisting so many things there.
Like I teach a course that's ethics through science fiction.
Oh, cool.
So we read a lot of science fiction short stories, and one of the options is instead of writing a final essay, you can write a short story. So
how do I sign up for this class?
But like, I give them the Radiance prompts every week, and they sort of walk through it, and I get some great short stories at the end of that class.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this is really bad. I'm a parent. I have 2 children in high school, and
she says it. This is bad. No, I'm a parent.
I'm getting to the bad part. I have 2 children in high school, 1 in middle school, and obviously at a stage where writing essays, creating stories, and all of that is very important. They sort of struggle with it. I think generationally that can be a little bit of a challenge. They don't read quite as much the way older generations did, at least in a different style. And I'm sitting here and I have Radiance at home that we use to game. And I'm like, why have I not pulled this out to help my child who's like, I have to write a short story?
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, that is a great thing. So Tori was, we've talked about before, those benefits of role playing and how we see it can help in education and things like that. And there's been a lot of research that shows it helps adults in other ways. Tori, go ahead.
Well, and it sounds like, and I'm sure there's a big chunk of crossover with this, especially if it's education. You guys have to get a giant dose of psychology, basically, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, the way they're starting to find out all the therapeutic effects of gaming. And I'm wondering if you're seeing that in your classroom.
To some extent, I've definitely seen some stuff. A lot of times people will use the short stories to, like the Radiance and stuff to sort of work through issues that they're going through in their life. Because, a lot of the stuff that I teach, like I do a lot of ethics, and ethics is very close to a lot of people's hearts. And the issues that are affecting them often come up when they're talking about issues of ethics. And games and imaginative play in general have, as you said, the research has shown has a very therapeutic effect. This ability to sort of create this imagined space that has some elements of reality, but is still and allows you to explore in a place that's safer. So like whatever effects happen in an RPG, they can be bad, but they're never going to hurt you personally, mostly. And that freedom to sort of explore without risk can be very therapeutic and can help people work through real life issues.
Safe space.
Yeah, I love that. And as soon as you started talking about like in an ethics class, I just immediately I could see it. I could see, here's your situation and working through it, and how much more interesting, I hate to say that because I've had to take tons of ethics courses over the years for business or different things like that. Yeah. And a lot of times it's like, oh yeah, I've got to go do the ethics course. And yes, we all know we should make good choices and decisions. But I can just see how much more impactful, how much more like staying with you when you are put into these situations that are close enough to real life that it really makes you think through, what would I really do here? I love that as a way to use gaming in education. I'm absolutely thrilled with that. I'm like, and let's bring it into corporate America.
Yes, let's.
We got time for one more little question.
Sure, one more little question.
Okay, so what came first, the chicken or the egg? And I know that you said the chickens of tomorrow. I got that part, but I just thought it was kind of funny. The interest in game-based learning?
Yeah.
Or the game designer?
Oh, good question.
Yeah. So I guess it would depend on how you define game designer. So I was playing games long before I was a games researcher, and I would homebrew stuff all the time. So if you consider that game designing, then that came first.
There it is. Okay. That makes me happy that I wanted to ask that question.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Homebrewing is very close to our hearts here.
Oh, near and dear.
So, well, Christina, thank you so much for being on the show and talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
About your passions that we also share in.
Yes.
We are so excited to have you and hear what is going on out there to include people and to help people recognize how beneficial gaming can be whether professionally in a hobby or, you know, in a school system or even therapeutically. It's just become really interesting how much we're seeing the benefits of this as a hobby. So thank you so much. We are so grateful to have you on the show. And for our listeners, we hope you enjoyed our talk with Christina today. Please feel free, go check out Tabletop Gaymers online. They've got a great website, as well as Oddfish Games. And
go there.
Yes,
it's cute.
Really cool games out there on their website. And as always, our favorite Epic Adventures podcast, which you get to hear Christina and Mike and Steve talk on. And we can't recommend more highly. Thank you, Christina, so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
When you sit down at the table, open the books, and spill out the dice, you're looking for an epic adventure. Tabletop role-playing is more popular than ever, and every day new players join our great hobby. My name is Steve Kellums, and I'm the host of the Epic Adventure Podcast. I'm just a fan with a radio voice, but joining me on this quest will be Mike Howlett, the co-founder of Oddfish Games, a great independent game company, and Christina Stiso, a PhD student studying game-based learning. Together, we will discuss all things tabletop gaming, from character creation to world building to setting and pacing. We will give you tips and tricks to make your games, well, epic. Like and subscribe to the Epic Adventure Podcast today.
This episode of Finding Atoria is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. The Finding Atoria podcast is looking for guests for our upcoming episodes. Are you or someone you know passionate about the TTRPG community and have a story to share? If so, contact us on our socials or reach out at wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria. And now back to your program.